Once the celebration of 8 full years was over, Damascus Road got back to work. In the following weeks, we had a visiting team of Brazilian evangelists and the annual food package fundraiser to support those in need in our local community. We held a baptism in the mosque to rejoice with those who wanted to make a public commitment of their willingness to die to themselves and now live with the strength and spirit from Jesus. We continued our trek through the Bible, becoming more well-versed in what the scriptures say.
A team took the message of Jesus to the party district of Megalith, Mallorca, supporting a church plant and continuing our connection with street angels there. We had plenty of summer fun, especially the children who joined the vacation Bible school we participated in at EBC in Innsbruck, and there was some summer lovin' with the renewal of vows wedding ceremony. During the transition of summer to autumn, investing in our volunteer leaders was a priority. Each month, the Bible study leaders met to be trained and also to get experience in giving trainings. We held the first all-ministry leaders meeting, and a group of enthusiastic lifelong learners formed the first class of DRX, in which the pastoral staff gave them teaching and opportunities to practice public speaking and biblical interpretation. Kayla Glue bolstered the church staff through a 3-month internship.
Ashna Silas joined Bruno, Alini, and Tom on the leadership team of Damascus Road University Ministry as they welcome new students with the beginning of the new school year at Incombe. Drum continued through the semester with teachings on discipleship, with plenty of time for fellowship and singing and waiting on God.
Our weekly Bible study groups delved into the book of Acts, which is Luke's follow-up to his gospel, which we had studied the previous year.
And on Sunday mornings, the sermons looked at the cultures mentioned in Acts and throughout the New Testament, seeing how there is no place too far for the good news to spread, and no people too different for us to show God's love to. To emphasize that more, people shared God stories about how the gospel reached their countries. And we also held trainings on early Sunday afternoons with next steps in outreach and evangelism and prayer. Then some of us put that message into action through urban missions and initiatives such as Serve the Cities Across the Line dinners and through the A21 Walk for Freedom.
Other highlights included another wedding, a baby dedication, and our congregation's 3rd ever church family vacation to Germany to play and learn, getting out of our routines for just a little to grow more in our love for God and for each other. We pressed forward to share the joy of Jesus' incarnation through a Christmas outreach in Maastricht City Center and some caroling. We also paused to treasure all these things about our Savior in our hearts. We entered the new year with prayer on the Hill of St. Peter, which wasn't new or out of habit since we also held prayer there the 2nd and 3rd Saturday of each month.
Drum partied in style for the beginning of the new semester with their gala night, then launched their series on Stories That Matter, looking at the parables of Jesus. They also reserved one night per month to learning about and praying for the persecuted church around the world. As is common with our high turnover and ever-changing church, various leadership adjustments happened throughout the year. The drum directors trimmed back to just Bruno and Alini Lubasher. Praveen Sam and Rita Bakunda took on more responsibilities on the worship music team. Luke Meyer stepped into directing the food package ministry alongside more coordination in the care team. Annalise Somoza oversaw formation of a new Sunday morning class for middle schoolers. And Judith Dick joined the Council of Servant Leaders as the new secretary. In 2019, we want to see changed lives changing lives as we live inspired and inspirited, knowing we are blessed people called to be a blessing. So, along with the sermon series looking at how Paul modeled that for Timothy,
and never knowing what costume the preacher was going to wear next week,
we got out of the walls of the church through things such as STC's Big Volunteer Days and cross-cultural cooking parties.
In addition to hearing from those within our church family, a few guest speakers spiced things up, including several local politicians from differing parties, and a family service including adults and children together. But even as we received, we also sent out. Our pastor again ministered in India alongside longtime friends of the church living there. And a team went back to Indonesia to continue sharing the good news of Jesus. At the end of March, the Community Bible Studies European Conference in Maastricht provided perfect conditions for a mixture of giving and receiving, as church members hosted, served, and taught, while also attending other workshops and meals.
April brought around the commemoration of Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. We held our first ever sunrise service to join in the awe of that first resurrection morning. And a dance drama helped people visualize our newfound freedom during the regular service time. Afterward, we gathered in homes in the park to eat and rejoice as a family. The students gathered again just a few weeks later for the drum break-a-day. Throughout the year, we continued once a month all-night prayer meetings to intercede for our neighbors. As the city started to warm up for summer again, we held another baptism at the mosque. As we watched more people commit their lives to Jesus, we, both the people who stay in Maastricht and the ones who leave, we commit ourselves again as a church to His kingdom and His work. It isn't always easy. Jesus warned us that we'd have trouble, but He promised us that we'd have His peace and His Spirit. So we remain grateful as we continue to fight the good fight and run the race and keep the faith.